This is Sandy Shellis, and I am with Environmental Coffee House, obviously. Uh, and I am just looking at what I have here on my. I'm going to put some text in. I never put my name, doesn't really matter. Nothing was working right. It's been a really shitty day, and I want to. I actually want to read to you something from resilience.org. And it's important because we're dealing with so much stuff. We are dealing with so many crises and so many issues that it is damn scary. But at this time, we need support. And support is like super, super, super duper important. So I found this and I'm going to read it to you because I just thought today was completely, completely a mess. And hi, everyone. I'm so happy to see whoever joins us. It doesn't matter. I'm glad you're here with me, but we need something uplifting. And so I'm going to use this opportunity to give you something uplifting. It may not have seemed like that. I'm looking to see if my stuff came out that I wrote. I don't even know. Oh yeah, it did. Okay. So, here we go. Since it's been a tough day. And hi Kim. I just found out my poor daughter. Life is tough for everybody. It's tough for me. It's just tough for everybody. And my daughter put her Rottweiler to sleep in October. And then her senior cat not long ago. And she just adopted another cat for her other cat to have a friend. And this cat's very sick and she has to put him to sleep tonight. So I feel sad. I cried my eyes out for her. I'm frustrated for me. Personal issues, as you all know. But I think that at this time, with the Amazon burning, which I really do think is starting to affect people, and all of the environmental things, I'm looking for ways to bring a little support. Hi. So here we go. This is from Resilience, and I like this, resilience.org. It's called Tools for the Awakening, and I think you're going to like this. Dear Waking One, the world is burning literally and metaphorically. The soles of our feet feel the flames. Heat seeps into our lungs and smoke makes our eyes water. Do you feel it? Do you question how we'll ever be able to fix this juggernaut we have set in motion? Are you afraid? Do you feel paralyzed to act? We are facing collapse and the potential extinction of humanity. We are drastically altering the biosphere from which we evolved. We are killing off entire species, ourselves, and each other at alarming rates. Pause. Let that sink in. Don't avert your gaze. Stay with it. Stay with us. We need you to feel the weight of these actions. Burnout and despair come easy to anyone who closely looks at our plethora of problems, whether it's climate change, our decaying democracy, the concentration of wealth in the hands of a few, increased xenophobia, hatred, and mass violence. These seemingly intractable issues confront us from all angles. The problems are vast and prevalent, causing many to call our current situation a wicked predicament. There is not one solution that will get us out of this mess. The path forward will not be easy, and we cannot give up. How do we prevent being bowled over by our emotions and the urgentness of the change required? And this is where the Good Grief Network comes in. And I discovered the Good Grief Network, and I liked it. So I thought I'd share it. They create and disperse tools to help sustain individuals on this difficult and brave journey of becoming a change maker amidst such overwhelming destruction. We have constructed a 10-step program designed to build personal resilience and empowerment for those of us aware and overwhelmed by the state of the world. It provides networking opportunity to share resources and strategies for healing and co-creating a life-sustaining society. There is things out there, just for our support, and that's why I'm finding these things. Community, guys, remember that word. It's tragedy's remedy. You don't have to do this alone. In fact, you cannot do it alone. The network provides tools to help you create a supportive community to engage the systemic transformation required. But first, each of us must become aware of and mend our disconnection from ourselves, others, and the natural world. We can do this by working the steps, which result in an acute awareness and exploration of self, leading to bridging the gaps in our lives, reconnecting, and the beginnings of a meaningful, life-focused existence for us all, for whatever we have left. The following are steps each of us can take right now. Practice them. Keep them as tools that help illuminate the path forward. Come back to them when despair overwhelms. And I've been overwhelmed with despair. And I need to find these things to help mitigate this. And if I need them, I'm going to share them with you. Hi, Asoma. Hi, Going South. Gazer, Cindy Seeley. Step 1. Accept the severity of the predicament. When we catch glimpses of the problems and their severity, don't look away. We must invite the grief to move through our whole animal body. The planet and our species needs us to be awake and aware right now. This requires acknowledging the difficult truth of where we're at as a culture. We lost our way. Consumerism, pervasive violence, global warming, the sixth mass extinction, water and food shortages, mass-produced propaganda, and skyrocketing rates of depression all point to the errors of our ways. Our systems are failing us. A delicate balance exists between false optimism and overwhelming pessimism. Reality exists between these two polarities, and we aim to live within these two extremes. Regardless of which collective problem most paralyzes us, remember that balance is a practice. We wobble, we fall. We get up, and we get to work again. Like any practice, balance gets easier the more we do it. Now is the time to rise to the challenge. Let's envision new ways. I always mess something up because I'm not comfortable. Let's envision new ways of existing together. First, we accept the problem and its severity. And accurately discerning where we are, we can focus on the path to arrive where we want to be. Step 2, acknowledge that I am a part of the problem and the solution. By living within the Western paradigm, we have all played a part. in getting us to where we're at culturally, socially, ecologically, and politically. We can do a lot to minimize our carbon footprint. Still, many of us drive and fly and overconsume. We buy into consumerist ideology, failing to notice how the system is designed to enslave us with debt. We must confront the old notion that our ability to consume defines our individual worth. Once we're aware of those systems and our role in perpetuating them, we can no longer be held captive by our guilt and shame. There isn't time to be suffocated by these feelings surrounding our role in the problems. We're using the tools provided by this system to help to create a just future. With this level of acceptance, we can address and correct these problematic habits little by little and create systems that actually serve our planet and us. Practice sitting with uncertainty. This culture is rigid. We're conditioned to make little or no room for uncertainty. We want guarantees, plans, and perfection. We desire to feel secure and think certainty means security. Yet control is an illusion. We can calculate the odds of every risk, but there is always some amount of uncertainty that exists. We minimize risks by making smart choices and planning, but there will always be external forces beyond our control. We live on a dynamic planet, and our perceptions are limited. There is more to existence than we can take in. Can we give up our need to control the outcomes of our actions? The more we convince ourselves of a certain outcome, the less resilient we are. Can you take risks and chances and find meaning in our daily lives, knowing that our existence is unpredictable? Practicing flexibility moves us out of a fight, flight, freeze response when we experience the unexpected. This allows us to respond from a place of patience and compassion. We must befriend uncertainty to exist in this time and place and to preserve our sanity. Number 4, step 4, honor my own mortality and the mortality of all. Death is natural, and it's a normal part of every life cycle. You will die, as all living things do. Nothing is free from death, not pets, not the person you're certain you can't live without, not even the sun. Death is natural. Still, the high rate in which we humans are killing off other species feels nearly impossible to take in. We're extinguishing other species so quickly that we're responsible for an extinction event. Humankind has become the first species to control the course of evolution. How do we remain present while knowing death is inevitable and avoid becoming obsessed by it or dwelling in the dark? Death and life are interrelated. One cannot exist without the other. It is through death that meaning is made. We are alive for such a short time. Heart attacks, accidents, illness hurl curveballs at the ones we love and us. Nothing is guaranteed. Once we accept the inevitability of death, we can be more alive in the present moment. How we die matters. We die how we live. So let's live fully while we're alive. Step 5, do the inner work. Our personal wounds add weight to the heavy emotions we feel on a collective level. We can deny, repress, or run from our personal struggles until we collapse under them. Or we can face them with courage, recognizing that feelings are both mental and physical experiences that shape, but do not define us. In doing so, we choose to use this extra baggage and its weight for strength training a little at a time, rather than buckling underneath it. Our grief then becomes a tool for connection instead of a roadblock to plow through or avoid. Our culture has deemed some of our feelings unacceptable and others taboo. Yet, until we can feel the entire range of our emotions, we cannot truly confront these systemic predicaments. Limiting our range of feelings prevents us from truly being alive. All emotions are transient and recurrent. For example, we don't face our despair and then never have to think about it again. Feelings are lenses that color our perception of the world. Try each lens on without judgment. What is it about each different perspective that helps create a richer, more meaningful life? It's critical to learn methods for processing our feelings because we're all ultimately alone. Community offers solace and support, but each of us wakes up and falls asleep in our mind. If we can't work through our own feelings, the help of community is limited. We must each commit to a full life experience and build community from that place, no matter how old we are, no matter how close to death we feel, no matter how shitty every day is. That's why I found this piece. Step 6, develop awareness of brain patterns and perception. We think we are rational creatures, but we're not. We construct our reality based on the information collected and processed by our instincts, cognitive biases, five senses, and complex thinking. The combination is limiting. We can't know what we don't know. If we never learn how our brain overcompensates for our limitations, we are held captive by the illusion of our perception. An untrained brain will always react without awareness of our limitations, but we can help our minds become calmer, steadier, and less controlled by fear. In other words, we must learn how to cultivate a non-reactive state of being instead of allowing our limited perceptions to be in control. And I can't tell you how important this is for me to read today. And maybe for me to read to you for a reason. Step 7, practice gratitude. Between the sensationalized daily news, intra and interpersonal drama, and the weight of our collective problems all competing for our attention, each moment can feel overwhelming. Practices like meditation, yoga, gratitude, mindfulness, appreciating beauty, and creating meaning rewire our brain, creating new neural pathways, helping to overcome our default responses. Through these practices, we fight the paradigm of stress and speed and drop into the portion of our brain that processes information more thoroughly. From this space, we have better control over our reactions. When we remove ourselves from the constant distractions and allow ourselves the time and space to get quiet, we can observe our thoughts instead of identifying as them. These practices gift us moments of calm and lucidity amidst the chaos. They also make us more open to both creating meaning and recognizing beauty. Beauty and meaning are not optional. They are survival tactics and are available to us if we make the decision to pursue them. Terry Tempest Williams writes that, quote, "Finding beauty in a broken world is creating beauty in the world we find," unquote. No matter what the situation, we can find a beautiful action, connection, scene, or moment. Beauty and meaning serve as reminders that there is something outside us worth living for, as long as it is. Desperation, depression, and threats to our safety can make it seem that meaning and beauty aren't available. But as long as there is life, they exist. We only have to make the effort to look or remember times when we have experienced a deep sense of awe and wonder. This sustains us. Step 8, take breaks and rest. Each of us has personal limitations that we must respect. When your mind or body requires rest, take a break. Being in a place of awareness and vulnerability is taxing. And because we've committed to feeling our feelings and working through past trauma, we'll have developed enough self-awareness to know when we need to take a step back for a moment and regroup. Do what you need to do to refresh yourself and return to the work. Otherwise, you risk burning out. We need you and your energy. Are you willing to give yourself this moment to recharge? The work will be there when you return, no matter what that work is to you. Step 9, show up. Now that we have done some healing through self-reflection and building self-awareness, we need to turn the focus externally. When we're feeling vulnerable, we're quick to downplay our experiences by hiding or internalizing that which makes us feel exposed. Part of the human condition involves encountering these uneasy situations, and instead of shying away, we lean into the discomfort, showing up for what makes us vulnerable. And don't I know this? Live it. We cannot permit fear or pain or humiliation to stop us from participating in life. There is strength in pushing through that which makes us uncomfortable. There is power and energy in asserting that we're not going away. Life exists in the moments we show up. To shy away from these experiences is to miss the essence of being alive. So we must be brave. We must take chances. And we must commit to being the main character in each of our lives. Show up for yourself. And the last step, 10, reinvest into problem-solving efforts. The final step is to use the wisdom, energy, and resilience that we've cultivated through the other steps to inform our every action. When we're open to our interconnectedness to all beings in the natural world, we make decisions based on compassion and insight instead of egocentric motivations. Instead of thoughtless and selfish actions, we reinvest ourselves with an understanding of the consequences to the larger world. This new type of effort must come from our inner stillness and from our love for ourselves and for each other and the natural world. It will be well-intentioned and well-informed, colored by our perspective, experience, and courage. Unless we've undergone an intensive process that forces us to seek truth from within ourselves rather than having truth pushed on us, any action with regard to our collective problems will perpetuate the same social, political, and economic systems that are failing us. Now is the time for each person to find his or her opportunity to be powerful. Action and power don't have to mean risking arrest or giving up on civilized society and living in a yurt. Action and power exist in the decisions we make with compassion, insight, respect, and love. Our next moves must be made from a place of inner calm and outward reverence. So now, you waking one, you have some tools to help invigorate or reinvigorate your efforts in helping to co-create a truly just and harmonious future for all of Earth's beings. As the world grows more chaotic by the day, it's important to build and maintain an arsenal of strategies focused on personal resilience and empowerment. We suggest working through these steps in community. Move through your difficult emotions and past trauma. Challenge the social constructs, the constructions pushed upon you, and wholeheartedly reconnect with life. When you complete the steps, run through them again with the new insight you possess, and then run through them again. Help awaken others and encourage them to reconnect and envision new ways of existing. Take the leap. You're not alone. We're all in this together. Garnish support from and hold space for others. Let's process, dream, and grow together. We need you now because there's no time to waste. Onward and with love. Laura Schmidt and Aimee Lewis Reau, Good Grief Network founders. I am so grateful that I found them today. And along with the other things that we've had to share, this one I think is important, and I'm going to put the links up because I think it's important, and for me as well. And it's important for me to keep finding things to inspire ourselves, because I've been suffering from a mega depression, and things like this and coming online to talk to you are my antidepressant. And I don't take antidepressants because I know I can come on here and do this, and that I can look at you that are with me and know that you're following with me and that you're feeling these things with me, because we're looking and we're witnessing the same destruction of our planet. We're looking and we're suffering, but we don't have to suffer. I don't think we should suffer. And I suffer every day with pain, neck pain and back pain. It's getting worse. But I'm trying so hard not to give in. I don't want to go Michael Rupert. I want to exist and do the best I can, because obviously I have a purpose here. I have to believe that. For you guys, you all have a purpose for each other, but I've got to believe this. Without a purpose, then I cease to exist. And I found my purpose. So I hope we can all share this website or go to it. And I'll look at a couple of your comments. I see you guys were talking about a lot of things. Let me see. Anybody really have anything that they want to talk about? Because for me to go back, it's kind of far. Kaiser says humans create more than they destroy more than they create. But given that, we still are alive. And for whatever time we have left, I'm going to try to make it worth something. And I'm going to try to see the beauty in every day. If I wasn't so upset about my daughter's cat, again, I wouldn't be crying. But Vegemedic says we need each other. And we do. So listen, look at the links I've put up. And forget about the tears. They come for all of us. And I'm not embarrassed and I'm not ashamed. I love you. Thanks for coming. Peace. And thanks for being there with me. And I hope that we can all do this together. We have to. And one thing of housekeeping. The Dream Team is planning another live stream. Jennifer Hines and Nicholas Humphrey, Antonio Reed, and myself. Something that will give you the negatives, the positives, but hopefully that we can also find that peace together, even though the news is so awful. And Cindy says, love, urgency, and intention. And Kim, I love you too. And it's good to cry. I think we all cry. It's just 2 seconds before I had planned this, my daughter told me about her little kitty that she just adopted to be friends with her other cat who was left alone after one went to sleep. And these are human issues and human problems. And my daughter was crying and I held it in. But here we are together.